Jeff Dawson here in the neighborhood I grew up in. This was my strip. My best friend Daniel Mintz and I would run up and down the street wreaking havoc and playing pinball at the far end, which used to be called Club Soda. For some reason, they let a bunch of 10, 11-year-olds come in and spend all day playing pinball. Flash forward 20 years, we found an empty space that had hosted bands. We built Atomic Billiards. And it was a crazy idea to squeeze this little pool hall into the basement of this grocery store. It was 1993. This neighborhood was thriving. We had all kinds of shops, a couple of bars, but they didn't have a pool hall. With Bedrock Billiards behind us, we said, hey, we want to open Atomic Billiards here. Plus the fact that we'd both grown up in Cleveland Park. My partner, Mark Hanwerger, 3 blocks up, and I grew up on Macomb Street, 2 blocks over. We both knew this neighborhood, and we had enough of a connection that they said, hey, we think you guys are going to do the right thing. Well, come on in and take a look. It's just, you're going to love it. Comes with a manager built in. When we came down here, this room had been a band room, and there was a door that went through to the far end. Didn't want the whole thing, and so we were going to close off that door. The ceiling's already low, but imagine a stage with all these pipes and ductwork and all this stuff was here, and a band playing, and I didn't even know, I guess they were all short because this place was packed wall to wall. Flash forward, it had been a couple of different things, but it was just storage, and we sort of looked at it and said, well, the columns are in the middle, and we could fit 6 pool tables in here and build a bar. There are some dartboards on the wall, and we thought, man, that's gonna work. It's changed over time. We had different murals on the wall. It was sort of an atomic theme, and the orange definitely is the same color we had. We made these pool lights out of ductwork. I was trying to get these lights that would shine on the table but not in people's eyes, and so I remember I cut these things out with metal shears, and I found orange edging. I was like, yeah, that's gonna be great. So lots of little touches are still the same. The dartboards have moved over there. They used to be here. You know, the evolution of the bar is a lot like Bedrock. It follows its own path. The way the crowd uses it is what we respond to, and we just kind of change it to suit the crowd. It's a cozy bar, not huge. Come down, you know, first thing, 4 o'clock when Atomic opens, and you'll be sitting with a handful of regulars and probably your normal Tuesday crew or whatever day you come in. And you'll notice the mural behind the wall, which was painted by a good friend, Daryl Dean. Daryl I met through Travis Smith, who had helped us decorate Bedrock and also helped us decorate Atomic, where we found this kind of mod bowling furniture from the 60s, and a bunch of that is still here. And we bought these bar stools that have triangular legs on them, sort of atomic-ish bar stools. We did the same undulating bar thing that we'd done at Bedrock, the winding bar top. This old bar top here used to be concrete, but that failed after about 15 years, so we redid it with glitter and epoxy. If I remember correctly, Dan was here when we found the space, just standing there waiting for us to build a bar.
Always been you.
He never leaves. But it really speaks to what this place is. It's just like that home away from home. And I'm always happy when I talk to somebody at a party. And I'm in the bar business, oh, which ones? And I'll say, you know, depending on where I'm, a Bedrock, Atomic, Buffalo Billiards, Rocket Bar, whatever. People are like, oh my God, like I went there for my first date, or I used to drink there back in the day, and you know, blah, blah, blah. And they just give me all these great lines. But it really makes me realize how important these little neighborhood bars are. No food here, but we have plenty of restaurants up and down the street that serve food for our customers. So you can really just grab whatever you want, come and sit at the bar. This was just Bedrock 2.0. One of the great things that sort of transpired is, you know, we'd have a customer here, we'd kick them out like, nah, you're not gonna act like that, boom. And they're saying, I'm never coming back. I'm going to Bedrock. We're like, oh, you're killing me. But, you know, and that's sort of back and forth has existed. Oh, I love Atomic, I hate Bedrock, or I love Bedrock, I'm not really an Atomic fan. And we're like, beautiful. That's exactly what we want. One of the things at Atomic that's really made it work is the consistency of the people running it. Really at all of our places, we don't lose employees quickly. Once people land here, they really love it and they stay. We've had, you know, Dan, who's our manager now, has been here for 9 years.
Yeah, I think it's April. We'll make it 9.
April
So
makes
we're
it 9
close.
years, so coming up on that decade mark, which means we're going to get you the Timex.
Timex, or maybe like an orange jacket.
They were,
You know, to go
ooh,
along with the theme. as
that would
opposed
be
to a
nice.
green
An
one.
orange jacket.
Yeah.
Sort of. How about a Walmart-y vest that
A
says,
Walmart-y
"Hi,
vest. Hi.
I'm
I'm their greeter today. For me, Atomic is my favorite bar in DC, which is why I've worked here so consistently over the last near decade now, but why I worked here before we went and opened Rocket. What I find it to be for our customers is a gathering spot between whether they're regular pool players or people who need a break between work and home, or need to stop in or want to stop in.
Need is a
Yeah.
I need to go.
Yeah, you know, like I don't know what's going on at home, but want to stop in after grabbing some groceries or before groceries, or play a fun game of something not too competitive. There is a real sense of community here, and has been since before I worked here. Within the regulars, within our interaction with the other businesses on the block, we all seem to kind of have each other's backs and that kind of thing. When I'm asked to describe where I work to people who haven't been here, I say, imagine that friend of yours in high school's basement where the parents were always away, and then you're an adult.
That's perfect. I love that. When we opened Bedrock, this woman came through the door and said, "Oh my God, it's like my grandmother's basement in Brooklyn." And it's funny because we're coming up on Halloween. As we talk, there's what looks like some kind of giant spooge coming out of the light, but there's a spider hanging from it, and to me that just says that you care.
Yeah.
And you're hanging all this stuff up and decorating for Halloween. You've got a suit of armor that came from your childhood, and I mean literally, that is not plastic. It just says to me a lot about what this place means to you, which also says, wow, we did create a little magic down here.
I like to think so, and I like to think that half of my job, besides just the functional aspects of being the general manager, is to keep that magic going.
Yeah.
For the next generation that's coming in, to honor those who are kind of going out, so to speak, and that kind of thing, and keep the community alive.
Has it changed a lot since you first started coming here?
Yeah, as the city, especially before lockdown, for example, but as the city has expanded into safer neighborhoods for people to rent in and more popular or trendy neighborhoods, it's diffused the market a little bit. But once people find us, it doesn't seem to matter whether they live down by the waterfront, Upper Chevy Chase, or down in Georgetown, they come back. And once the AU kids, American University kids, find us, they come back a lot.
It is great to have fresh people coming in.
The best is when they're going somewhere for graduate school in DC, or they've gotten their first internship, or they've gotten their first job out of college. But even if they leave the neighborhood, they still come back. I mean, I had customers last week who hadn't been here in 30 years, and it was them and their old friends that used to come in here as they stayed until close. And
that's great.
Try to see if they could stay a little longer, and I said no.
No, it's fantastic. It is. I mean, that says it all. We've got memberships to reward the regulars, and I don't know, where the memberships stand here.
Active, probably around 350.
Active, and then historically,
I mean, I think there's still 110 lifetimes that we don't see that many anymore.
And that's another one where it's sort of like that just evolved into its own thing. And I love it when people come back from wherever, Denver or LA, and they're like, number 125, and it's just like, well, welcome home. The whole city has changed. This neighborhood has changed so much. The street, we used to have parking out front, now we don't. We've got this pedestrian thing. We don't know what we're doing. We're building it, we're tearing it up, we're building it again.
Yeah, that was a fun 2 years.
Oh my God, 2 years of chaos on the street. And yet, here we are just chugging away. And when you walk through the door and come down the stairs, it's the same vibe. Some things have changed, but the feeling is exactly the same as it was the day we opened.
That's the goal.
Yeah.
That's always been the goal.
I love it. Well, thank you. It's good to actually get a professional in and get a valid opinion about it. It's not just me talking about this place.
If I didn't love it, I wouldn't have stuck around as long as I have. You know what I mean? Like,
man, I
love
thought
this
you were
place.
just desperate. So when we opened, we came down into this basement, and this one room really made sense to us. There was a doorway here behind this table clock set up here, and it went into what was the old Far End, the bar that I'd played pinball in as a kid. The Far End was too small to put more pool tables in. It was kind of broken up into a weird shape, and so we just said, hey, we just want to rent this, and the grocery store upstairs just owned this. We would have had to have a separate landlord. We started building, but we hadn't put a doorway in yet. And one day, this guy comes down the stairs, he's got inside-out sweatpants, and he's looking all cool, and he's like, hey, how you doing? And he's got this older guy with him who's his uncle. And he says, yeah, we're gonna rent this place next door. We're opening this bar. It's gonna be great. It's gonna be the best thing ever. We're like, okay, what's it gonna be? He goes, I got this, it's gonna be a crab shack. It's gonna be a crab shack. We're gonna call it the Uptown Crab. And we were like, sounds great. And he goes, so here's what we're gonna do. Like on Friday and Saturday night, when we're packed, we're just gonna have our people come into your place too. We're gonna have chicks in bikinis in each corner pouring beers out of kegs. You know, we'll work out the financials, whatever, how we do it. And so then he's walking up the stairs and he's gonna show us what he's gonna do. We're gonna do airbrush this giant mural of a crab on the outside of the building in a historic arts district. Probably not gonna fly, but we don't want to disrupt this train of thought. And his uncle's behind him, and all he keeps saying is, fucking Lou, oh, fucking Lou. So they leave, and we're like, fucking Lou, get the masons in, and we got the cinder blocks going, and we blocked up that hole in the wall as fast as we could. The Uptown Crab never did come together, but I just remember, man, Mark and I, for years after, would just look at each other and go, fucking Lou. You never know who's gonna come through the door. So like Bedrock, Atomic has a membership program. So Atomic's membership is $180 a year. That was steady at $120 forever. And finally, with inflation and everything, we figured, okay, we should bump up that price because it has a lot of value. What you get for that is 20% off on everything all the time, including pool, including the bar. So really, if you think about it and do the math, it pays for itself pretty quickly. You get free pool until 7 p.m. every day of the week, first come, first serve. That also encourages people to meet each other. So you might come into practice and somebody else will come in and you say, hey, well, let's play together. It creates kind of the community bond, which is an important part of it. It's a reward to our regulars, obviously. So if you're walking out your door, I think I want to go someplace to get a drink. It's like, well, I'm a member at Atomic. I'm going to get 20% off. As I look at the prices for pool, $10 for one, 14 for two players, 18 for three, and 20 for four. It used to be 8, 10, 12, and 14 when we opened 31 years ago. So that has not kept pace with inflation. I mean, it should probably be $30 an hour for four. So the value of four people coming in and each paying $5 an hour to play pool is pretty damn good. The reason that makes sense to us, like we're not trying to get every dollar out of everybody every second they're here. It's a place, it's a hub. You know, when you rent a pool table, you're gathered around this space, it's your space. Those stools become your stools and you sort of have this zone. Now people bump into you and you got to sort of navigate, but you have a secret force field around you, and it works so well for groups of more than four. You might have 6 people or 8 people hanging out and you're just taking turns playing pool. Doesn't break the bank. It's a nice evening. It's a great before dinner, after dinner. It just satisfies, scratches so many itches. That's what it does. Whoa, Nelly, back to reality. When we built Atomic, in a lot of ways, it was just a business idea. We knew we wanted to build a little neighborhood bar. We were copying Bedrock and just kind of doing the same thing again. 31 years later, what I understand is that we built something that has its own sense of place in the neighborhood. It's much more than just a business. It's the home to people who have been here, who live here now. A lot of people come in who live all over the city, who just spent a year or two living in Cleveland Park or just happen to visit with another friend, and they found this great little hole in the ground and they just keep coming back. I think really you can't get a better sort of praise for a business than the fact that people will come across the city or come from Maryland or come from other places to spend an evening with us. I'm shocked when I find out like how far they travel. And of course the locals love it, and they're the bread and butter of this business. But it's so much more than a business. It's a home to so many people. I'm Jeff Dawson. Thanks for joining me, and we'll see you at the next bar.